Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show,
a weekly podcast from your new internet book besties.
We discuss all things spicy books and mix in a little bit of motherhood, life, self-care, and everything in between.
So sit back,
grab a beverage,
and let's chat.
Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Neely, and it is just us today. And not only is it just us, but this will be the last episode before we take a little bitty break. We're just taking July off, guys, so it's fine. It's fine.
I loved our little hiatus that we took in January. I feel like it was so refreshing, and we came back super refreshed. I feel like because of that, it feels like we just took a break. Like, I feel like
I know
we were able to.
Can you believe that was 6 months ago, though?
It's kind of crazy, but I think it was so nice. I think it showed us that we can do that, and the world is not gonna implode while we're on break.
We're very self-centered people. We think that if you guys don't hear from us every week, you won't be able to function.
Yeah.
But I'm kidding. But I think it's
your Tuesdays
nice
will be so
time.
sad.
So sad because we've already got so many good guests lined up for when we come back from our break, and we've got pretty much all of August and September mapped out. So there's a lot of good.
Yeah.
But today we're gonna yap a little. I really wanted to do this episode, which is like a pop culture catch up. If you know, you know. I am a big pop culture girly of all the things going on, and so much has happened lately.
Yeah.
I mean, when is it not? But I
truly feel like this is going to be an episode of Neely schooling me. Like, I am going to school, and Neely is teaching
She's going to recent pop culture school.
Yeah.
And it's funny though, because some of it isn't new that has happened in the past week. And it reminds me of how when Taylor Swift will be in public, and all of a sudden, an hour later, we see the Taylor Swift memes, and we're like, how do people do it so fast?
How? Truly.
How? Rachel and I are over there 7 to 10 business days later.
I'm listen, I've got, especially in the summer, I've got a child hanging off each arm, and there's no memes that are being made.
Oh,
so
Charlotte is only in half-day camp this week because I wanted her to, and by half-day, listen, I don't even know if you could consider this a half-day. It is 9 to 12 camp.
I hate half-day camps. I'm this is dumb. I drop you off and I turn around and come pick you up.
Andrew is so annoyed about it. And I'm you're not even here. He's at the office pretty much this whole week. I'm why are you annoyed? You don't have to do this. Yeah. And I'm not annoyed because she is actually my much easier child to have home alone. She is content as can be to eat some snacks, do some art, watch Frozen, which is all she's watching right now, by the way.
I love it.
She won't watch anything but Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 right now.
Yeah. And we've been through those phases.
This is her third phase of this since she's been alive, where we've gone through an intensive Frozen phase, but to the point now that she's seen it so many times, she's just reciting it along with them.
Oh yeah. It's those TikToks where it's oh, it's a 3-hour flight, I'm gonna watch Hamilton, and they're oh, there's no movies on this flight, and they're I don't need it, I have it memorized, and they close their eyes.
Yeah. It reminds me, and I never understood this. Okay, this is such a weird tangent, but that we're Andrew and I are big Friends watchers, and there's an early episode of Friends. Rachel's on a date with this guy, and she gets super drunk because she's upset about Ross, and he's oh, it's fine. For the last hour, I've been playing the movie Diner in my head, which is a super, super old movie. But I always when I was little, I'm how do you play a movie in your head? And I'm oh no, I've done it. I know.
Yeah.
I can play a movie in my head. I can play
so Charlotte's on Frozen. We are on a Family Feud kick.
Oh, I mean, we're always, as me and Liam and Andrew are always on a Family Feud kick.
Okay, but the funniest part about it, we love Family Feud. The funniest part about it, though, is it is not appropriate for children.
Should I not tell you in our pop culture roundup when I get to the Diddy stuff about how apparently Steve Harvey and Diddy have had a relationship for 25 years?
No! Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll come back to that.
Rachel
I am very upset by this. Steve Harvey is so, he feels so wholesome to me.
I know.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just here to ruin Rachel's day. Should we do some 1s and 5s though?
Yeah. My 1 star is what you just said.
All right, then you go first. You go first.
Okay. My actual 1-star is that I'm like every night after we put the girls to bed, I go wash my face right then, or else it won't happen. Because like if I wait until I go to bed, I'm too tired.
I'm just proud you're doing it.
I know. Like I had to start that habit, and I did it, and now I go like that's the first thing I do when the girls go to bed is I go wash my face. And so it also helps that like I don't really wear makeup anymore, and so like I don't have to take my makeup off. I'm just washing my face for like the joy of washing my face. So anyway, I go and do that. Well, almost every night, a child sneaks in and scares the shit out of me by just like popping up behind me without making any noise. But last night it was Lainey, and she comes like screaming into the other room, and I turn around and look at her, and she's just got blood dripping down her face into her nose, or into her hands, from her nose into her hands, all over my brand new carpet. She's fine. Okay, listen. She gets nosebleeds sometimes. I think it's because she's like, I don't know. She's like not fully developed in her nose or something. And not all the time. She gets nosebleeds, I mean like once every like couple of months she'll get a nosebleed. But last night it was bad, and it was all over everything. So we went, and by we I mean Brian went and bought a Bissell, one of those Bissell like carpet cleaner.
Is it a little green machine? They're awesome.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, I feel like an adult now that we have this machine, and he just used it before we got on to record to clean it. We tried to like get it out as best as we could last night, but it was like a drip line from her room all the way down the hallway into our room, into the bathroom. I was like, oh my gosh.
No.
But so we like cleaned up as much as we could last night, and then he just used the little green machine and got the rest of it out. But that's my 1-star. Is that it's just always like, it's very jarring when a kid comes to you just like covered in blood. And then my 5-star, I was like, what has happened this week? I turned in my draft to my editor on Monday, my draft of book 2. And so that is like simultaneously a huge relief and also very terrifying. So yeah, I'm feeling mixed emotions about it, but I would give it a 5-star. I'm ready. I was ready for it to go to the next person, and it has done that now, and I can start kind of playing around with a couple other projects that I'm really excited about. So
is that the thing you posted yesterday with like your 4 cornered? Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah. So I've got the next book in the Bardot siblings series I'm starting to work on, but then I also have 2 other projects that are like top secret projects.
Are they book projects?
Yes, book projects that I'm attempting to work on, because I feel like writing book 2 was very mentally taxing for me. I wanted to have a couple of different projects going at one time, a couple different books going at one time, so that I can kind of hop around based on my vibes that day. Yeah. And so
not only are you a mood reader, but now you're a mood writer.
I am a mood writer now. Yes. So I'm excited to kind of try this out and see how it goes. I've always I remember seeing somebody one time that was saying that they were working on multiple different projects, and I was like, I could never. And now I'm like, actually, that makes a lot of sense. So,
I mean, I on a much smaller scale, have to do that with work some days where I just am I've been trying to do the one thing for too long. Yeah. I've got to move to something else. So
I think that's what I struggled with so much on, because book 2 is the first book that I've written as not having another job. I obviously have the book fairs and stuff, but this books is my full-time job now, right?
Books. Your job is books.
Yeah. And so I think it was really hard. It's this thing that is such a long and tedious process that you really can't, there's only so much you can do to kind of break up the monotony of that. And so I think for me, I was like, I need a way that I can like take a brain break, because I'm the same way with like little tasks. I'm like, okay, I've been staring at this graphic for too long. I need to step away and go do something else or whatever it is. So yeah, I think this is my way of kind of doing that for writing.
I have found that recently I am my most productive when under a time crunch. Like, if I only have like 2 hours to get things done, I will get a full day's worth of stuff done in that 2 hours. But if I have a full day, I'm like, weird, I can't.
It's so hard. I'm like, oh, just hang out. Like,
I'm just gonna vibe. Yeah. So my 1 star is so sad. For me. I went to bed the other night and I think there was a mosquito in our bedroom, and I woke up with like 11 mosquito bites and I mean like huge, like,
do you get like really
shoulder.
Big like welts? Yeah.
Me and both kids have what they lovingly call skeeter syndrome, which is like you're allergic to mosquito saliva.
That's Laney's like that.
Bite you, it swells up.
Yeah.
And they find me. My mom used to tell me it's because I'm so sweet, which I know is not true.
Yeah.
And
you're like, she lied, but
she lied. But I woke up the next day and I had one like on the side of my head. I'm like, they were all on the left side of my body, so I must have been laying on my right side. So that was not fun. And we have this thing, I don't know what it's called, but it looks like almost like a mechanical pencil, like a thicker mechanical pencil, and you put it on the spot and it like a lot of heat comes through and it like almost like
zaps it,
kinda, and it's like 3 seconds, but like it takes the itch away. But Andrew had to do it because like there were ones I couldn't reach, like on my arm, like my shoulder and my back. And he was like, no, you probably got them outside yesterday. And I'm like, I feel like I would have noticed yesterday.
Yeah, like it would have blown up before you went to bed.
He's like, I didn't get any bites. I'm like, yeah, because they were just coming from me, clearly. I was like, you're not sweet. I don't know what to tell you. But
I can't help you there.
Truly. Because the day before, I mean, we were outside on Saturday. Like Charlotte we had tennis lessons for the kids. Then I took her to a swim party. And then we immediately went to my dad's to swim more. And let me tell you, she was like a level of exhausted that I have not seen. But I've discovered that she gets like the zoomies before bed, like a dog does, where she's so tired that she's like bouncing off the walls. And then you leave her room and she's like just like passes out.
My girls have started having like giggle fits before bed. So like literally
she does that too. And you can tell they're tired. They're like that so when I'm tired. But I'm like that when I'm tired. I will just laugh at nonsense when I'm tired. Or I'm just a bitch. But I only have two
I tend to lean more towards the bitch side when I'm tired.
Well,
like get away from me.
I'm trying to think of a 5-star. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, okay, I told you about how I have an Android tablet now, right? Did I tell you that?
You did.
Okay. So my 5-star, I told you about like, I'll show it to you.
How you've got your little screen.
My little screen. Okay, so my 5-star is a show. Is that okay? Can my 5-star be a show? My 5-star is Next Gen NYC on Bravo, which this has been exactly like if you are somebody who loved The Hills and you loved like Laguna Beach, you loved like early Summer House where they're like 25 and not 40 and acting like this. This is the show for you. It is
and not 40.
Early to mid to late 20s. Like their parents are either on The Housewives or they're like super rich New York celebrities. Like, and
so it's like Housewives second gen.
Yes. And I am not a Housewives person. Like I love Bravo shows, but not Housewives. It's just once I got into Bravo, a lot of the Housewives already had 14 seasons and it overwhelmed me. And I was like, I can't do this.
There's too much lore. I cannot.
I am, however, this was part of our conversation later, so I'll circle back to it. I'm going to start watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I will explain why.
Okay.
After this. But I have been watching this show and there's only 3 episodes and I'm like savoring it because it comes out weekly. And
I was like, why are there only 3 episodes?
Because it comes out weekly and it just started. And but it is like, when I tell you it's exactly what I needed for like summer, just nonsense TV, it is the TV show version of a beach read. It is just light and silly.
I love that.
It is exactly what I wanted out of a TV show. And I'm like, thank you, TV people, for giving me this. Please make a million seasons of it.
Yeah.
Because this is, when I find a show and I love it and there's one season, I don't think anything disappoints me more in life.
Truly. Like, with the sadness that we felt when My Lady Jane was not being renewed. Oh, I was so sad.
Like, and this is why Andrew and I will, when we try to find a show together, like, we will wait until something has like multiple seasons, because I'm like, no, because then you watch one season and you're like, will we see it again? I don't
feel
know.
this way about fanfic.
Books?
I know this is surprising to you. Well, for the most part, books, if it I do try to wait until the series is like rolling before I read it, because sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do, because I want to know that like I'm going to be able to get to the end quickly. But with fanfic, it's different. At least with the book I pick up, I, for the most part, know that like if it's a series, the series will eventually get finished, right?
Yeah.
But with fanfic there, I always make sure that it's not a work in progress, that it is a completed fic, because sometimes I will, like, I've been burned too many times where I have read like 3/4 of a fic and then they're like, oh, this hasn't been updated in like 2 years. And I'm like, fuck, I should have looked before I started reading it.
So have I ever told you about like the one time I read a book on Wattpad?
Okay, no, but you haven't, but it's going to be the same thing where like they update it and then they just stopped.
So Colleen Hoover, guys, we have our feelings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is like a 10-year-old story, possibly more than that. So she wrote a book that I loved, and then she wrote a sequel to it, but released a chapter at a time on Wattpad. And I mean, when I tell you, it would be like, sometimes it would be a day apart, sometimes a month apart. And I'm like, you know what? I just can't live life like this.
No.
Like, this is not, I need the whole thing at once. Like, I could never, this is why I haven't read a book on Wattpad since. I could never read something that is released a chapter at a time.
And AO3 is the same way at like where I read fic for the most part. It's the same way where you can like release, and like I have one that I read that I loved that I finished probably like in I don't know, like December or something, and then they came out and they were like, oh, we're gonna write like a companion to this and we're gonna release it a week at a time, which is fine. But I was like, okay, when it's done I'll read it, but I cannot do the week at a time. Some people love that, and I think as long as it's a creator that you know you're going to get the consistent updates, then fine. But I think I've been burned too many times where I've just like fallen down the rabbit hole of, which like fic and all of that is like meant to be a creative outlet for people. So like I'm not holding it against somebody if they didn't finish a book that they were inspired to write 5 years ago. But I'm not going to read it because I don't want to have a
she did eventually read it, and she released it trad. Like has, like obviously like anything she indie released, it's Colleen Hoover. She released it trad. And it's fine. Like I feel like sometimes, and Colleen Hoover to me is like a big person who does this. She will write a sequel to something just because people want it.
Yeah.
And not everything needs that. Like, no. I love certain books. I would love a sequel to certain books. It's you with a view.
Here's the book that I want.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. But I also know it doesn't need a sequel, right? Like I love it. I would love 100 more books about these characters, and I felt that way about people or about books a million times before.
Yeah.
But they don't need it. Like,
no.
And I think we as readers, like for the sake of quality, need to be okay with a book ending, and we can love it and we can reread it over and over again. Yeah. But like not to put pressure on authors to release a sequel, because I feel like when it comes that way, when a sequel is released because of that, then it's bad.
It was when we had Lauren Asher on the podcast. She said something that stuck with me, and I think it was when we were doing our Patreon with her romance hot take. So you might not have heard this unless you're a Patreon member, but she said something about how not every side character needs their own story.
Yes.
And that has really stuck with me because it's so true, because and as a reader, of course I want it. Like, I'm reading Problematic Summer Romance right now, which that's my recent read. And I'm loving it, and I love anything Allie puts out, and I am reading and listening to this cast of characters that she's put together, and some of them are from previous books, but I'm like, some of them are like, oh, they could have a story, and I'm like, I want to know more about these people, but I think there's almost like a beauty to that of like, I might find out more about these people one day, or I might not, and like, that's okay.
Well, and like, somebody who I feel like has done it really well is Becca Mack, and the way that she has done her books. And like, if you think about her first 4 books and how those books are about the couple getting together and about that relationship forming, whereas Karen Emmett's book, that's the 5th book, like, they start the story and they're together.
Yeah.
I think they're engaged when the story starts, or maybe they get engaged in the first book. I
don't remember.
Can't remember the logistics of that, but like, they're an established couple, and I feel like it's rare that you then get a book about the established couple.
Yeah.
Versus like her other books where it's like, oh, like, these 2 people meet and get together, and these 2 people meet and get together. Yeah. And like, a way that I feel like that was done not as good is in the Off-Campus series, where I don't feel like all of those people needed a story. Like, the Deal could have been its own book and would have been fine.
And would have been fine. I can't wait to see the...
I
didn't
read
read
that
all
whole
of them,
series.
but...
I read it in the span of like 7 days. I pounded through that series. One, because it's like, it was easy read, and like, they're not like, you know, emotional type books. Right. But also because I knew there were 5 of them, and I was like, I need to get through it. I didn't read the other one. There's like another series. Yeah. I was like, I've done this. I don't need to do it again. Will I watch the show? Yes.
100%.
1,000% will watch the show. For some reason, I feel like the show's going to be better. I just have like a feeling.
I think it's one of those books that is going to just translate really well into a show. Like, I feel like it almost has like it was almost written in that format. You know what I mean? Like, it's just written really well to move to show.
Yeah.
I think the other one that I there was a side character that wasn't supposed to get a story, but then did get a story, is Rio in Windy City series that we were listening to when I went and saw Liz Tom Ford at that Q&A a couple weeks ago. She was talking about how he was never going to have her plan was never for him to have a story. And then like, as she was writing and as people were loving him, she was like, but I feel like she's the kind of person that's like, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't want to. You know what I mean?
I do feel like some authors, and like, I'm not trying to like shit on people, but like, some authors will do it for the sake of like another book. Like, oh, it's another book.
It's hard instead
of doing it for the sake of, I have a story to tell.
Yes. Well, and that's like the number of people that after they finish yours unexpectedly, they're like, oh, do we get Gabe next? And I'm like, no, you don't. Because I was originally going to do that. And then I was talking to one of my friends, Joelle, and she was like, it doesn't sound like that's the story you want to write next. And I was like, it's not. And she was like, then don't do it. And I just feel like sometimes you need permission to be able to put it off, and I think it's gonna be so much better now.
Well, and I think because that's what Becca did. Becca, like, I think I don't know, I mean, I'm not going to speak for her, but just like, we've talked to her a few times. We're probably, hopefully, gonna have her on again in the fall. But I mean, I think she went in knowing that this would be the hardest book to write. And like, the most emotionally draining, and like, I can see why you wouldn't want to do that book second or third in a series of 5 if it's going to take that much out of you, because it's a hard topic. I mean, it's about infertility. This is not a spoiler. She's been very forthcoming with this information. It's about infertility, and Rachel and I have both struggled with infertility, so we know that like, it has to be like done with care. And if you've read a book, nothing is more annoying than reading or watching inaccurate infertility. Like, it is.
Yeah, no kidding.
Watching the episode of Friends where they transfer 5 embryos, like, sends me to a place that is like unhealthy. I'm like, first of all, that would never happen. Like, never, ever.
No.
My doctor wouldn't even transfer 2. Okay.
No.
Like, doctors are super conservative with transferring embryos. And 5, like, that just wouldn't happen.
Never.
It also is like wildly inaccurate to me that she gives birth to perfectly healthy triplets. Like, no. 1 vaginally, 2 they're full term.
They're
like,
full
there's
term.
There's so many
like,
inaccuracies. Like, watching this as an adult, I'm like, I'm sorry, were there people watching this then that were like, this doesn't make sense? She was also pregnant for like 5 minutes. Like,
I'm like, did anybody ever in the writer's room be like, we should check and make sure that this is like factually accurate?
The timeline of Phoebe's entire pregnancy, like, I almost have to skip the episodes because I get so annoyed with them.
But that was something that I feel like this is now we're going down a Friends tangent, but I feel like they had to write that in because she was pregnant. So it was either they hide her pregnancy or...
like, I don't know, did they need to give her triple? Like, it was like so much of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just that they were like, okay, yeah, like, let's make Phoebe pregnant as her brother's surrogate. Like, that's a nice thing to do. Like, great, let's make her have triplets. And it's like, someone in the writer's room was like, that escalated quickly. Like, and someone else,
they were like, it's Phoebe, so we have to make it ridiculous. And so we'll do triplets. And
then, like, the next episode after she gives birth, she's just like perfectly I'm like, guys, I can't. It's like, and then they do Rachel's pregnancy, which is like totally accurate. She's pregnant a full season. She actually like gradually gets pregnant. I know she wasn't pregnant in real life, but I'm like, it just like,
we made some last minute decisions on that Phoebe arc.
Never try to talk to me about this storyline on Friends, because you will get this times 5 hours where I sit here
and just like, be angry about it.
Andrew knows and what sucks is the one with the embryos is also, it's the same episode that they do like that little like trivia game, like Chandler and Joey versus.
Yes,
I love that trivia game. Yeah, but the fact that it is the same episode, I'm like, I have to watch it because I love this part. But I have to watch this other part. And she finds out she's pregnant the day of the transfer. She takes like a home pregnancy test like that day. That, I think that's what it was. I was like, if you've never done the 2-week wait, like, don't. No. You would not tell you the day of. So when we did our embryo transfer with Liam, Andrew would not let me do a home test because he was like, you cannot do home tests. Like, it's going to make you crazy. And so I did
PTSD from home
with
tests.
Charlotte. I was like, fuck off. I'm doing home tests. And I started testing it 3 days after. And the first time I tested, I had like a teeny tiny, like,
really
faint line. And I literally tested every single day, and it got darker and darker and darker and darker to the point where I was Sharpieing the date on them. Yeah. And I had them like on the side of my sink, like matched up in a line. I mean, like, I will show you a picture at some point.
Yeah, I need to see a picture.
I ended up having like 14 tests. And I, being the psychopath I am, test until we see a heartbeat. Like, I will keep testing even after I get the positive because I was so worried.
Yeah.
Like, I was so anxious.
So much stress and anxiety around the whole thing.
Andrew was like, how much do you think you spent? Like, I think this was like the day we went in to see the heartbeat. He's like, how much do you think you spent on home pregnancy tests? I'm like, whatever it was, it helped my sanity. So it's worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Can you put a price on mental health, Andrew?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Let me know.
I feel like people go either way. Like, some people are like, I don't want to know. And some people are like, I have to know every day.
When we did like Clomid, I never did until Charlotte. Like, I never did any of the early testing. And I
cannot remember.
The day we found out we were pregnant with Liam, she was like, I call people after noon, and from 12 p.m. on, I'm just like staring at my phone.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
we found out I did not test with Lainey.
And I made Andrew work from home. I was like, you have to work from home.
Yeah. We got on a plane. So I went in that morning and got my blood drawn, got on a plane to New York and left the state. And by the time we landed, I had a voicemail from our nurse that was like, hey, give us a call. And so we called in the baggage claim and found out we were pregnant.
And then
with Emmy, I was like 8 weeks. I was like, I'm not pregnant.
I remember when you found out you were pregnant with Emmy, and I remember you posting about how you were like, I feel some kind of way about this.
I was like, what is happening?
Because y'all weren't trying with Emmy, right?
No. But we were not preventing either, but because it had been so hard for us to get pregnant with Lainey, I was like, we were not preventing, but we were definitely not trying. And we were also one step away from being fully licensed as a foster family. And I was like, well, guess we're not doing that. So here we are.
I have to
6 years later.
to read you this headline I just saw.
Oh God.
This will go. Okay, the listeners, if you're from Texas, you might understand what I mean. All right. So apparently, there's a new Dallas social network called Clockout. Okay, and I don't know. It's like a young networking group.
Okay.
They will not accept people into the group who graduated from Texas State because it's only for smart people.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I was like, this is gonna end so many lawsuits. Like,
yeah.
This is just... Anyway,
that
if
seems
you don't
like
live
somebody
in Texas,
was just like,
you might not know.
Oh man,
I don't know. I just think if you went to a university of even if you didn't, like, who the fuck cares? Sorry,
who cares? Yeah, there are lots of very smart people. Anyway,
are we reading anything? After
so I am. I'm listening to Problematic Summer Romance, and I am loving it. And we have talked about Allie Hazelwood and my love for her and my one-time mistake of saying anything bad about her, which really wasn't bad. It was just that I wanted more spice from Love Hypothesis. But
I've only read the Love Hypothesis. I have not read anything else from Allie Hazelwood because I was bamboozled, not by her, but by Book Talk, who told me that it was going to be a really spicy book. And they were like, especially this one chapter. And you get to that chapter and you're like, huh.
It was right at the beginning of Book Talk, I feel like, when people were like discovering spice for the first time. But anyway, she's phenomenal. I love everything that she does. Problematic Summer Romance is fantastic. She writes single point of view, which I typically do not like. But I don't care because she writes it, and then the tension that it builds is insane because you're getting only this flawed point of view from the female perspective, and the narration on it is great. It's a duet narration, so like anything that is spoken in a man's voice is in a male narrator doing it, and I'm having a blast with it. So highly recommend. I'm supposed to have it done for book. It's our book club book this month, and I'm supposed to have it done tonight. I don't think that's going to happen because I just started it yesterday, but I'm flying through it. So that's what I'm reading right now.
I am rereading Every Summer After by Carly Fortune because I read one Golden Summer and I was like, I need to reread Every Summer After. So that's what I'm reading.
Are they connected?
They are connected. Okay. So did you read Every Summer After?
No.
Okay. It's one of the main characters is like the very main character's brother, and it's like his story.
Yeah.
So they are connected, yes. Which is probably why I liked One Golden Summer so much.
Yeah.
But
so is Meet Me at the Lake not connected?
No.
Okay.
No. They all kind of take place like around the same area, I think. But it is not connected. No. And
is
Meet
it
Me
like
at the Lake is not good.
What?
Meet Me at the Lake is not good.
Yeah. Is it like I feel like Allie Hazelwood and Julie Soto both do, where like in their unit they have like the Allieverse where like their characters show up, like are not connected, but they show up.
I think Jessica Joyce's is like the same universe.
Yes. Where it's like they're all there, but like I kind of love that.
And I kind of think, and I could be very wrong, are Morgan Elizabeth's like mostly the same universe?
I think you're right.
I think hers are also the same universe. Yeah. Like she has her series.
Yeah.
But I know that like the series, the playlists and then her Revenge series are all the same universe. So
yeah. Yes, I did know that. I think it's really fun though to see like somebody referenced in a book or like in Problematic Summer Romance. She just had a run-in with one of the characters from Deep End and it's like they're not a part of the story at all, but they just have like this random one-off run-in, and I think that's so fun. Anyway, I digress. You read Every Summer After.
I read Every Summer After.
Are you reading it right now? Or are you?
Oh no, yes, sorry. I'm reading it. I'm like 25% in. I mean, I feel like when I reread a book, it obviously goes a little bit faster because I have read it and I get excited to like revisit it. And that I read like pretty soon after it came out, and that was 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's been a while. And there's a lot of it. And I honestly think in my head that and Love and Other Words are intertwined as the same book to me because they're so similar that like there were things that I just forgot about every summer after. So it's actually like fun to reread a book that I haven't read in so long and that was mildly similar to a different book. And
so like, oh yeah, I forgot about this part.
I'm like, am I going to want to reread Love and Other Words again?
Maybe.
Like I might. I don't know. Am I just going to like go on like a binge of books I've already read?
Like a rereading?
But, like, a rereading binge. Hold on one sec.
I could see you doing that.
Like you talk for a minute. I have to respond to her.
Okay, this is totally unrelated and then we can get into pop culture stuff, but so when we record, we can see each other for everybody listening. We're on video, but we don't post the videos anywhere. But I cannot so I have had some form of color in my hair for like a bright color, like a non-natural hair color in my hair for years now at this point. I don't even remember how long. And this is the first time my hair is completely brown and it's throwing me off.
I love it though.
I think it looks really good.
So pretty.
Thank you. I am happy with how it looks, but I feel so strange. I'm like, oh, there's
just because it's not a color.
Yeah. But I think it looks really good. I feel like I'm just getting used to it. I'm like, okay. Back to like normal natural hair colors.
So should we get into pop culture?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you ready? Okay. So
I don't know if I'm ready.
I guess this is kind of pop culture. So Charlotte's soccer team name is changed for the fall. Because we added some player they're going into kindergarten anyway.
Sure.
The new team name is the Swifty Kicks.
The Swifty Kicks. Cute.
And I am obsessed. Okay, so I'm going to start with Diddy just so I can upset Rachel.
Okay.
So for those of you who, like me, love true crime and TikTok, the Diddy trial is like the perfect combination because you can't watch it, but there are like people who read the transcripts every day, all day, and they'll give like 5-minute reports on it, like basically verbatim, which is great because I have a short attention span and I don't want to have to watch a whole trial. And I don't think that's one I could watch because it's so traumatizing.
I started paying attention. Like I was like, when everything was first like when the trial first started, I was kind of like, keeping small tabs on things, but then it just been so terrible that I was I can't.
And it just gets worse. I mean, I don't even know what week we're on at this point. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And they said originally that it was going to go 8 to 10 weeks of a trial, which seems
oh
so
my
long.
Gosh. Yeah.
But I also heard that the prosecution is resting their case this week. So I don't know if that means like then the defense is going to call a bunch of people up and like they said, but the prosecution's had like 40 or 50 witnesses. Anyway. So some things are speculation, like the Steve Harvey thing is speculation. It's not fact. So I want to preface it so I don't get defamed by, I'm not trying to defame anyone, but there are people on TikTok who are like, oh, like they've had a relationship. And it's the same people who are like, Justin Bieber was abused by all of these people in the music industry, like that kind of thing. And I wonder, like, because like several years ago, like there was the R. Kelly thing where like he was convicted and he's in jail for who knows how long. And like likely Diddy will be convicted. And it just makes me wonder how much longer. So like, I feel like celebrities have like a sense of like invincible where they can do these bad things and nothing bad happens to them. But then we also saw the guy from that 70s show was Danny Masterson.
Yes.
Who is in prison for a long time, and Josh Duggar and like these other people who have committed these really horrible crimes who have gone to jail. Chrisley is not included because the Chrisleys got pardoned by Trump, even though they had $36 million or something insane of like tax evasion and bank fraud, but it's a white collar crime. So apparently we look at that differently.
It's a white collar crime and white people.
It's white people in a white collar crime. And I don't think anybody would pardon Josh Duggar because he's disgusting. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if you put a gun to my head and were like, which do you think should be pardoned? I would probably say the Chrisleys as well. Because
I mean,
in comparison to these other people, they're not actually like physically hurting anyone.
Yeah, as far as we know.
As far as we know. I'm still convinced that Todd Chrisley is gay. And you cannot change my mind. You cannot change my mind about it. And
I think you're right. Like, obviously, like, there's no reason to choose. Like, if you do commit a crime, then like
the law is the law. People.
Yeah, it's not like we don't get to pick and choose who has to pay for the crime or not. But the fact that there, like, as far as we know, there was no like abuse, and which, like, it's hard when you've got somebody who's doing such large tax evasion and all that. It's like there's something else going on there, I would think. But
I mean, I'm sure there's lots of things going on, much like Trump himself. But again,
yeah, seriously,
I digress.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's this one girl that I follow who does all of the Diddy analysis. And she's like, I'm a lawyer. Her whole thing is like, I'm a lawyer. I read what happened, so you don't have to. And I'm like, appreciate that.
Thank you.
And the way she also describes it is like, she's taking this like very traumatic information and like not using some of the words so that you can digest it and not feel disgusting.
Right.
Because what he's done is like, it's honestly so insane that it's like really hard to process it in my head, because I just don't understand how people are like that. Like, I don't understand the level of abuse that he is inflicted on not just like people he's dated, but like people who worked for him, and just like awful things that he's done. And what I can't get over is that he had his children, his daughters, in the courtroom. And I'm like, why? Like, why?
Because he's not right in the head.
Oh no, I mean, absolutely not. I also think he's probably gay, or at least like very bi, because I mean, there's things that have happened with men. Like, he had a big thing about watching his ladies with other men. I think it's just like a weird.
Yeah.
Listen, we often say I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but I have a point in which I will.
Listen, there's consensual like kink and like a whole world of like, there's such different there is such a different and it's so hard when something like this comes forward, because I feel like it's hard for a community of people to feel like, I don't know, like the wrong people will like just lump everybody into a group with Diddy, and like that's not the case at all. But his issue was, it continues to be that it was non-consensual, and there was an abuse of power and an abuse of... It
was abuse of power, and it was like insane physical abuse, insane emotional abuse, extortion. I mean,
horrendous stuff that is not even the same as like enjoying voyeurism, you know, like totally different.
Yeah, I just... It just makes me, it's so bad. Anyway, I won't spend too much time on that. All right, now I'm going to switch gears to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively for a hot second.
Okay,
because
please.
I haven't followed that as closely recently, but I know that his original lawsuit was dismissed. Yes. Everything I've read is that they weren't completely dismissing it. They want it rewritten. And they were like, it's dismissed this way. You can rewrite it, or like there's some part of it that needs to be fixed, and then like do it. I don't know that that's going to happen. Like, I'm not sure where that stands. But what I wanted to bring it up for is, do you think she will recover from this?
Oh, yes.
Or do you think any of them? I guess like she's obviously a much bigger celebrity than him.
Yes.
So do you think, like...
I think if she is able to, I think what the smart thing to do, it would be to like lay low for a little while and like take time going through this process and going through whatever they're going to end up doing with the whatever lawsuit she's brought against him, and like if he brings anything else against her, whatever it is. I feel like she has the opportunity, and it's hard because I understand the desire to want to use your voice to bring light to some of these topics, and the sensitivity around like women being silenced and things like that. I think that all are extremely valid things and valid reasons. I think sometimes she comes off a little bit disingenuous. And I don't know, I can't pinpoint why. I think that
I think it's important, but I also like a lot. Then what came out once he filed his lawsuit, it makes, from what it looks like, she was not being accurate with.
That's what's hard is like, okay, so there's something like maybe she's got like good intentions behind it, but there's also some inaccuracies that are happening.
And I feel like I always go to the side of believe women.
Yes.
Right. But I also feel like you can't just blanketly like if I came up to somebody and was like, so and so raped me and it didn't happen, like, do we just blanket believe? I feel like it's just more of a gray area than maybe we as a society want to look at things. You know, I feel like after the Harvey Weinstein stuff and after the Me Too, we've really just been like, no, like we believe women. And that is important.
Yes.
And I need people to understand who are listening that I am not saying not to believe women.
Right.
What I'm saying is, do we, in a situation like this where something comes out and he's like, hey, like this is what she's claiming, but here's the full conversation, like, then what?
Right. And I think there is this weird, there's lots of weird feelings twisted up in this of like, yes, we believe it. And like I said, like there is so much nuance and there's so much that we are never going to know because we were not there experiencing it. And so it's like, do I think she'll recover? Yes, because she's Blake Lively.
But do you think she'll recover? I mean, like, I think she'll recover in that she'll still be in movies. She'll still get parts. But do you think like the public persona for her, the way that the collective majority looks at her, will recover?
I think it's kind of one of those things like a Katherine Heigl situation almost where like, I feel like
I don't think she recovered. I think she's still been in stuff. Not fully. No, I think I think no one, and what's funny is that was way before social media. Like that was just when you would get an Us Weekly and to read about things.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
But I think when you, as a celebrity, are made to be a problem on set, when you're made to be, it's like you're a former teacher. When you have a student or you hear about a student that's been an issue in other classes, you're not going to look at that student with a clean slate. You're just not.
Right.
Like there's not possible to not be biased about it. And so I think it's that kind of thing where it's like, yes, Katherine Heigl has worked. Like, yes, she is still a famous person for all intents and purposes. Do I think if she hadn't acted that way, she would be a lot more famous? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with Blake Lively, I'm like, okay, like you're pretty lucky that your husband's Ryan Reynolds. So like, even if you didn't work, like you're fine. Like you're not gonna suffer. I don't think she will be friends with Taylor.
I know. I just feel like there's so many things that have kind of like, that have been handled where I'm sure she was doing I'm going to assume that she was doing the best thing that she knew to do at the time. And she was trying to like make decisions that made sense at the time. But I think there's, whether good decisions or bad decisions, there's consequences that come along with that.
Taylor Swift was my kid's godmother, I wouldn't rock that boat.
I just
that's
feel
just
like
wild to me. If Taylor Swift is my best friend, I'm like protecting her at all costs. I am throwing myself in front of a bus for her. I'm like, you keep her name out of your fucking mouth, a la Will Smith at the Oscars. Like,
seriously.
And I feel like she was like, oh, Taylor's my best friend and she's going to come to bat for me. And Taylor's like, oh,
whoa. Yeah.
Like, slow your roll. You know. And that's the other thing is I feel like if it was like a really big, like she was very, very wronged, I do feel like people would have come to bat for her.
Yeah.
And I feel like Colleen Hoover deleting social media, all these people just like
that's kind of, maybe that is what the issue is
disconnect.
For me. Like, maybe that's where the disconnect is, because it is like, okay, it really does feel like a her against him situation, and like nobody else is saying anything,
and they don't want to get involved. And I feel like with like Harvey Weinstein happened, it's like everyone came out of the woodwork and people were like, oh, like this happened and this happened. And like the same with that. And I am not in any way, shape, or form comparing Justin Baldoni to Harvey Weinstein.
No.
At all. I'm just saying that like when these other big instances of harassment of any kind have come out, other people have come forward.
There's just something about it that feels weird, and I do wonder if one day
on both sides, like the
on
whole
both
thing, I'm
sides,
like, guys,
yeah,
this
with
is not
him
the
too.
move.
I'm like, what do you? I don't know. It's weird, and I feel like one day there's going to be something, and maybe it's through any sort of trial that happens. There's going to be something that comes out that we're like, oh. And it's going to make more sense. But right now, I feel like there's still too many missing pieces that I wish I just confused
from both of them as like a viewer of, media could understand what are you hoping to gain from this? Like, is it just to win? Like, are you like clear your name? Like, what do you want from this?
Yeah.
Because at some point with stuff like this, you just have to take a step back and be like, I'm probably just better off calling it a day and then like rebuilding from there.
I do understand her desire to get like die on a hill, so to speak, right? Like I do understand that sometimes there are hills that it feels like nobody else will fight for, and so you are like, well, I'm going to be the one who fights for it. And I love to die on a hill. I know. I do hope that I think there are so many things, and we saw this like with the Nickelodeon documentary too. Like there's so many things that are unregulated in Hollywood and in acting and in all of this, and so many power dynamics at play that are very problematic. And any pop culture that you talk about, like that's part of the equation. And I do hope that there becomes something comes of this that is beneficial in future projects moving forward for everybody. Like the need to have, like, if there's any sort of intimacy on set at all, there needs to be an intimacy coordinator, like no questions asked, like that kind of stuff, where I do hope there is some change that comes from it. It's just kind of a weird, feels a little weird getting there.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I will switch gears to Taylor getting her master's. She got all the rights, masters, all her stuff. She's got it. And my favorite meme about it was that she spent $360 million to never have to sing about Joe Alwyn again. And I was like, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
But she didn't even pay, like, I guess like when I heard it, I was like, I bet she paid $1 billion for this. And I was like, oh, it was $360 million, which to most people is a lot of money. Taylor, that's like one era's weekend.
Yeah.
So
I think it made me laugh when I was reading your notes for this episode, because it just says Taylor Swift getting her master's, and I didn't read the rest of it. And I was like, she got her what'd she get her master's in?
Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint. I mean, listen, I don't know what her highest level of education is. She, for all we know, she's a PhD. Okay, like, would it?
I think she has an honorary one, doesn't she? I feel like somebody gave her one.
0%. Do I think there's, much like Megan Quinn, there might be multiple Taylors? I don't know.
Unsure. Yeah.
Maybe she's like Santa, and she has helpers. Guys, I don't know. But I'm just like, it was nice to see. But the sad part is like that letter she wrote. First of all, I had to zoom in like 400% to read it. I was like,
teeny tiny.
I had to take a screenshot and then like,
you're like, Taylor, you're as old as we are. Like, please,
ma'am. Okay, you need to understand that the elder millennials can't read that.
Yeah,
she's older than you. I mean,
she is.
Like,
yeah,
ma'am.
Yeah.
'Cause what year were you born?
91.
Jeez. All right. Much like me, Taylor was born in the 80s, but
she was the very tail end.
By the way, if you don't know, she was born in 1980.
I feel like I'm not a big Swiftie, and even I knew that.
I'm just saying.
She has a whole album called that.
Charlotte knows. Charlotte's like, she was born December 13th, 1980. What else do you want? Her middle name's Allison. She'll be like, her middle name's Allison, like mommy, because my middle name's Allison.
Yeah.
So Charlotte has a little best friend named Abigail, and I was like, Charlotte, did you know that Taylor Swift has a best friend named Abigail? She's like, the same one? I was like, no.
Yep, the exact same one.
I'm like, Charlotte, I mean, I understand, but
yes.
but yeah, I was just reading that and then her being like, but BT dubs, I haven't even re-recorded Reputation. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Everybody was like, all right.
Everybody collectively was like, oh, ma'am, we all, and you know, she was watching people clown about Rep. Yeah. Like, she was probably like, guys, I have to tell them. Like, at this point, like, I need to be forthcoming.
They need to know.
They need to know that this might not happen. And then she was
I thinking the other day that I am really excited. I might have said this on our episode with Alyssa DeRogatis, but I'm really excited for the album that comes out of her relationship with Taylor Kelsey, with Travis Kelce. Yeah.
Same. I am also excited for that. It's just going to be called, like, I don't know.
I feel like it's just going to have, like, such happy vibes.
It's going to be like Lover.
It's going to be like Lover, which is my favorite album, so.
I mean, it's also Charlotte's favorite album because, you know, she's a big Cruel Summer girly that I'm drunk in the back of the car.
Yes, we love to sing that.
Love hearing my 5-year-old sing that.
Yeah, in the back of the car.
She always likes to be like, cry like a baby. Like, she thinks that's the funniest lyric to a song ever. But what I was going to say is in that, like, little letter thing, she was like, but I do have the vault tracks. Like, if you guys would be into that, I'm like, who isn't into that? Who isn't into new Taylor Swift music ever?
Yeah.
Like, Taylor. You could record yourself singing the national anthem, and I'd be like, downloaded.
Okay, I need to know, and this might be a stupid question, but are vault tracks a thing that most musicians do? Like, do they have stuff that didn't make it onto the album that they're just
I don't know. That is not a question for me. I only know Taylor.
I know. And so then I'm like, did she, if it's not a thing that people do, did she hold on to them knowing that one day she'd want to release
this is my guess, and I don't know. I need other people, if you're more musically knowledgeable than me, to know this is just my guess. My guess is, like, when you're recording an album, you have, like, a lot of songs, right? Like, maybe you have 30 and you're like, I don't know, like, how long can this album really be? And so you put this, you know, you're like picking and choosing. And you're like, I think these are the 16 best songs. So you have all these other songs. I don't know if she ever knew she would re-record them. I think it was just after that they all got sold where she was like, oh, well, I'm going to do this. And then I guess since I'm doing this, I'll also include these other songs that didn't make it.
Yeah.
This is my assumption. Could be wrong.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if this is like a thing that is like normal for people or if this is a Taylor being a genius situation.
All right, so the last two pop culture things, why I'm going to watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, is because they've added Rachel Zoe to the cast of it. If you know who Rachel Zoe is, if you don't know who Rachel Zoe is, she had a Bravo show bajillion years ago. She is a fashion stylist.
Wasn't she on E at some point too?
She had a show called The Rachel Zoe Project about her. Yes. She's a celebrity stylist. That's how she started. Yeah. And she styled like Cameron Diaz and Jennifer Garner and like
my mom and I used to watch that show together all the time.
I was obsessed with the Zoe Report. Yes. Obsessed with her. Everything about her. I was like, I want to be you. I think you're just everything. Yeah. And when I saw that they added her to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I was like, I've never seen an episode of the show. I will be watching it now. Okay. I'm not going to go back and watch all the seasons because I just don't have that bandwidth mentally. But I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you end up thinking of it.
So yes, I'm excited for that. And then lastly, Rachel and I were a little bit talking about this before we recorded, and I felt like it was a good way to end the episode.
Yeah.
So in a few weeks, The Summer I Turned Pretty season 3 comes out. What do you think is going to happen? Okay, so also understand, Rachel and I have not read the books.
No.
We are two people who have not read the books. Yeah. So we don't know.
No, I do know, like, obviously.
We know, but we don't
And so,
know.
like, if you don't want any spoilers, then, like, maybe skip past this. And I'm not going to, like, really spoil it because I don't know what's going to happen. But I do feel like the trailer for it is... I mean, obviously she has to, I have not read the books. I do not know. I feel like obviously she's going to end up with Conrad. I feel like that's just like...
I feel like the author was like, I don't know, like it might be different. And I'm like, I swear to God, if she doesn't end up with Conrad, this will be worse than the day after an election. Okay. People will straight up lose their minds.
I think I did see somebody who was like, if Belly chooses herself, we're all right.
Oh, no. I did this on Beverly Hills 90210. when Kelly had to choose between Brandon and Dylan and chose herself,
Yeah.
and just to the next episode be with a different guy. And I was like, absolutely not.
No,
like,
drives
this
me
is
nuts.
the dumbest shit ever. Listen, I'm all for women, you do you, but not Belly. Belly has to choose.
Well, you cannot set up an entire show based around a love triangle and then end it with her choosing herself. Like, if it was about her development and like as a person and all that, and like that was the main focus, then sure, she can choose herself. But you cannot set up it as a love triangle and then be like, oh, she's going to choose herself.
How do you feel about love triangles between brothers? I don't feel like we've actually discussed this a lot on the podcast. Like, we've talked about love triangles, although I am not a fan of love triangles in books usually. I say that.
Yeah, I always say that I'm not a fan of love triangles, and then I think about like some of my favorite movies and shows, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, I'll read them. Yeah. But it's kind of like, okay, would it have made sense at the end of Twilight for her to be like, I choose Jacob? No.
And this is what, so like going back to, this is our episode on Allie Hazelwood, going back to Allie Hazelwood, she just got off Instagram because I'm sure she got off for other reasons. I'm sure she's fine. But a bunch of people were like coming after her for being Team Gale in Hunger Games.
Oh, and I'm Team Gale too. It's fine.
I'm like, I feel like, and then somebody else posted and was like, I'm actually Team Finnick. And I was like, that's the right answer because honestly, that man is beautiful.
Okay. I'm gonna, yes.
That.
So I'm not like Team PETA, but I'm not really attached to anyone. Like, my thing with Hunger Games is I never felt like super pulled towards any of them because it really wasn't about that.
No, there wasn't. There was so much more going on. First of all, second of all, there wasn't really like a strong romance subplot. Like, there was technically a romance subplot, but not really.
That movie is more about, and those books are more about her development, and so like.
Like the world coming to an end and all.
Yes. Yeah. So like I don't really look at those as a romance. I know that they have that in there and it becomes more of a plot point in the movies and like people pick a side because like that's just how we're all hardwired and like you got to pick a team. I mean, Twilight is obviously one where like it's a romance.
It's a romance. That's the whole point.
You might not like any of them. After rewatching what I've rewatched of Twilight, I am just Team Jacob as a character in general. I think he is the best character. And
I love him. And I was Team Jacob for a long time. I love
but he
Taylor
can do better than her. I cannot stand Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
In general.
Neely is very vocal about her disdain for Kristen Stewart.
I just feel like that is one I want them to remake solely because I need to see a different actress in that.
I could never picture somebody else in that role.
I know.
She's ridiculous, but still.
Much like everything else, eventually it will get remade.
Yeah.
Okay, back to The Summer I Turned Pretty. I don't think she will pick herself.
Oh, God, she better not.
But I do think, I just wonder, like, if they're going to follow it, like, exactly how the story goes, then she'll end up with Conrad and spoilers. But also, like, not because, like, have you been on the internet ever?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, but how it's a lot it's 11 episodes. I think it's like her longest season. And I was telling Rachel this, if you Google season 3 on like the TV guide things that come up, it says they all released July 16th. I do not know how accurate that is, but I would love that. Yeah. Also, if they release July 16th, I told Andrew, like, don't come for me for like 3 days. Like,
seriously, like I will be busy.
I'm going to be doing that. Like, don't expect me to work.
I will say the thing that I'm most concerned about is, again, this is me not having read the book, so I don't really know what's going to happen, is I like when a love triangle, especially one between brothers, I want there to be some sort of resolution or like they're gonna have to coexist most likely for the rest of their lives, like and now she's picked this other brother, you know, like, so then what happens with Jeremiah?
I think that's why I have a hard time with two brothers, because I'm like, is it really like, okay, like great if y'all can like coexist and like get past it, but like this is apparently the love of both of your lives. Like, she lost her virginity to one, she then was with another one for multiple years, and then to potentially only get back together with the first. Explain to me how this works.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Like,
did you watch
supposed to just have Christmas together?
Did you watch the scene where Taylor Swift's Exile played as Conrad walks out of that motel room and literally looks like he's about to physically die in the hallway at the end. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
At the end, it's like the season finale where like they've gone to that, they're in that motel room and her and Conrad are finally like, we're done. And then he gives her back the necklace, or she gives him the necklace, and he walks out of the hotel room. And the song Exile by Taylor Swift is playing, which is like one of the most heartbreaking Taylor Swift songs that I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending. And he's sitting in the hallway, just like you can tell he's like just in physical pain. And I'm like, yeah, I like don't feel like you come back from that. I mean,
I in other love triangles, for the most part, like you can pick somebody and then you never have to see the other person again. Now, that's not necessarily true with like Twilight and stuff, but like, I don't know. I want the other person to be happy. Like, I want to know that the person who is not chosen is able to go on and be happy with somebody else and not like be hung up on Belly for the rest of his life. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I think that's what's hard with any kind of love triangle is I do feel like you're meant to think that like this person is just miserable without this other person. Like I've told you about how much I love the book Say You Swear. Yeah. And she has other books. Anyway, she finally has a book out now. I haven't read it yet. Like redeeming somebody from the first one. And I'm like, do I want to read a book about him though? Like, you know, it's like part of a love. I don't know. I don't know. And then I want everybody to be happy with Conrad. Great. Love that for them. And then 5 years later, Jeremiah's with somebody like, is she at Thanksgiving dinner? Like, is she going to sit there and be like, used to fuck him? Like,
right. I feel like coming into that situation would be so awkward too.
I am uncomfortable for everyone involved. Like, I am uncomfortable watching it.
In the show, isn't Jeremiah bi? So maybe he ends up with a man. I would feel good about that.
Would that be more palatable, you think? You're like, okay, like you're living the truth. Good for you, man. Like,
I feel like, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if they talk about him being bi in the show. If they do, then I missed it. Maybe it's in the first season.
I feel like in the first season he like is making out with a guy at a party. I might have made that up.
No, that probably happened. I wanted to rewatch it before like the first two seasons, but I honestly like that's a lot. That's a lot. Although I'm going to New York. I have like a trip to New York next week for a couple days. So I'm like, maybe I will. Yeah. Maybe that'll be like my comfort watch.
There you go. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, guys, we will be back on August 5th with a new episode. And, you know, we'll be on the socials. Where can people find us till then, Rachel?
You can find us everywhere at Smut Show Podcast. And you can find me everywhere at Rachel_M. Lewis.
You can find me everywhere at Neelykins except TikTok, where I am Neely Moldovan. And we will see you guys in a few weeks. Bye.
Bye.